Alabama. We have lots of conversations with our friends. Many of them are quality conversations. Today would be the exception. No, I'm kidding. Pete Blank here.
He's literally right here.
He is a leadership trainer, author, public speaker, and that's part of his Monday Motivation. Good to see you this morning.
Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, quality conversations.
Yeah.
A lot of times we hear about happiness, higher happiness, lower stress if you communicate with people. But now there's data out there. There was a study done by a University of Kansas professor that did this study that found out that there's 7 types of communication. If you have one of these per day.
Just one.
Just one. I mean,
okay.
more is better, but just one. Stress goes down, happiness goes up. So I've got nothing to say except you pick one of these. Let's talk about it.
Well, I was just like, catching up is great. I love, here talking to old friends.
Right. That's a simple way to do it. It's just, even if you send somebody a voicemail and talk to them that way and say, I was thinking about you today, but just catching up, how have you been? Those types of things are going to create a quality conversation.
Sure. And I love meaningful conversations. I mean, important things, I just had some this weekend.
Well, that's the ones where you sit down, someone in your family has cancer, someone's and you have a meaningful talk. Maybe it's with your kids about what do you want to be when you grow up. Maybe it's you and I talking about our futures together, stuff like that.
A lot of times it's perspective. Sometimes you just need that perspective.
Absolutely.
Talk too. Absolutely. We love to joke around.
See, joking around, see that?
Yeah,
that's, and again, we got to be real careful with the sarcasm versus how people take it. But joking around is good. You see, they're showing care. When someone says, because here's what happens all the time, Mike. When you walk through an office or you walk through a location and someone says, how you doing? And you're like, I've not so bad. I've had better days. And you're like, okay, have a good day.
Yeah.
They've opened the door for you to have a caring conversation. Tell me about that. What's going on? Anything I can do for you? And you can make a big difference in that person.
It could just take a few moments, but sometimes we think we're busy, but we're not. I'm going to skip one just real quickly to talk about valuing others and their opinions because that's very difficult these days. And, we need to learn that.
Yeah, and you talk about it'll help you get rid of one of your blind spots. It'll help you to learn and grow because a lot of us don't want to value others' opinions. My way is the right way, and that's the only way. But taking just a moment to say, hey, we may not, again, we can agree to disagree. We sort of have lost that ability to agree to disagree, in my opinion. So let's agree to disagree, but let's still have and I still value your opinion and kind of where you're coming from, which is interesting. I also want to make sure people talk a lot about the actual virtual part versus in person. They're like, well, if I'm having quality conversations on text or on email, does that count? Yes, but one of these has to be in person. So yes, you can have the virtual connections, but if you want to have a quality conversation, at least one a day has to be in person. And offering sincere compliments.
We can't cover all those, but you see them there. That's a good basis to start on today. That's for sure.
And by the way, you look very handsome today.
That's part of the sincere compliment.
Or is it sincere?
Well, it sounded sincere. We're going to sincerely go to the kitchen right now.